Okay, yay, we're live. Hello, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. I hope everybody is doing great. Oh God, let's turn that off. Okay, now you can hear double. Okay. All right, I hope everybody is doing great. It is Saturday, March 20th. It is actually the beginning of divine masculine season. It is also, of course, the beginning of a spring equinox. So we're going to be using these energies that are coming in today to kind of help clear some blocks. I know that I have been speaking this for the last couple of collectives that I have done about the blockages that are coming in, mainly with like familial karma and those of you who have people around you who are literally trying to keep you in what I call like the Eden or the matrix or the illusion that they find so pleasant. They want you to stay there with them. So a lot of the things that are coming up right now, I know a lot of the stuff that I've been seeing has been very disturbing. What my main focus today and what Jupiter's main focus today is going to be helping to clear these final remnants of these karmic cycles, which for the most part, I do feel have actually been completed, to kind of help cut the cords that are left to kind of help make that transition easier. I know specifically when it comes to family or when it comes to friends and things like that, it's really difficult to release some of those relationships because we're so used to trusting those people. We're so used to having those people in our lives. But the problem I think that's happening right now is that we're starting to realize that we really need to just kind of break off those what's the word I'm looking for? Those
those attachments, those connections, and
mm-hmm.
and it's really difficult because especially we've been groomed to believe that blood is thicker than water, and they actually misappropriated that phrase out of scripture, but it's not that. It's like that. It has to do with like who you're choosing as your family, and a lot of times the bloodlines that we're born into for the purposes of actually clearing that karma because people before us weren't strong enough or refused to see the truth. But in that too, there's a space and time where we have to make a decision of how do we love them? And sometimes in loving the people that, especially, parents, siblings, like those kind of closer knit blood ties, that the most loving thing we can do is like, we can agree to disagree, but I can't allow disrespect of my person or what I'm doing. And that is still a loving act, even if they don't see it that way. Because you're choosing honor. That's still honorable because you're not choosing to be in a space where you're going to be dishonored, where your voice is not going to matter, where you know that in being in that environment and those conversations that it will cause strife. And so you're like, I have a choice then to be a light worker, to bring peace by no longer being part of those conversations.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes strength, it takes courage for you to stand your ground, to really like activate your solar and understand who you are in your identity and stand firm in that. And a lot of people will be like, well, that's your mom, or that's your dad, or that's your sister, your brother, your uncle, that's your best friend that you've been around a long time. But it goes back to even relationships when you are in, dating, or you're growing and you're going to be with a life partner. The thing you're looking for is, are you growing together? And that's what I tell people, and I counsel people on that with their dating relationships. That's what you're looking for. Are you growing together? But that also has to be with non-romantic relationships too, because when you're not growing together, that means you're not growing. That means you're not loving and accepting each other. And if they're not willing to, then we have to honor their will and say, well, there's consequences for your decisions. So part of the consequence is that I can't be around you as much. And it's not like I'm shutting the door. It could be like, you know, I'm here for you, but we're not going to talk about these subjects. So we're not going to talk about this one thing because we're going to continually go into this area of strife. And strife is that, you know, that's when we see the devil energy. The devil energy always comes for the wounds, but we can choose not to be used by the devil energy to trigger their wounds when we know that they're not willing or ready to really have the conversation and clear that out of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So for a lot of us, we're just being called to change the dynamic with the ones that we have a blood tie connection to.
And that's also significant because the other thing that we were going to focus on today is, I know I've also been talking about this a lot, and I know Jupiter has too. And if you haven't seen her prayer on this, please go check it out. If you want to put that link in the chat for us, Jupiter, we can have people go to that. But basically what it is a prayer over the connection. So I know a lot of you are actually feeling this, the outside interference with the connections. They are being interfered with. There are energies that do not want union, whether that's inner union or union with your person or whoever it is. They are literally trying to keep these unions from happening. So that's part of what we're doing as well, is trying to help to clear that. And to help you clear that. Basically, I can't clear it for you, but what I can do is help to bring clarity to the situation for you so that you can see what it actually is. You can see it for what it is, and you can actually do something about it. Okay. So also after this, guys, we are going to have a quick Q&A. So for your questions. I also want to go ahead and pull a couple of cards for overall energies of what we're feeling right now in the collective. Okay. All right. So I've got love and pay attention to signs. So, I mean, that's pretty significant for what we were just talking about. So, of course, with the love coming up right now, guys, not only is this connection, of course, this definitely is connection. So those of you who are in a twin flame soulmate connection, divine counterpart connection, whatever you want to call it, these are being highlighted right now, but also self-love and having the love for oneself in order to actually put up those boundaries with those who supposedly love you and so on and so forth. But to also pay attention to the signs that you're seeing, guys. Like if you are being led somewhere, you need to go. That's where you need to go. Don't hold yourself back. Spirit's telling you, okay, this is the way. I've opened the door for you. Why are you still over here? Right? So that's, again, one of the things that we're going to try to do today is try to maybe clarify where you're stuck and why. And wow, holy crap. So what you want wants you. Yes, of course. But this one's been coming up a lot in my collectives, the come to life, guys. I know a lot of you feel real tired, like real frustrated, really confused. And some of you are really afraid to actually see what you need to see because you don't know what's going to come after that. Some of you, you're so used to being the quote unquote martyr or the scapegoat or the whatnot that it's comfortable. It's comfortable for you. Like you don't want to remove that. You want to stay in that energy because you don't know anything else. But just understand that what this is doing is it's really holding you back from obviously manifesting the things that you really want. But if you understand that what you want wants you, that's the law of attraction. So if you're keeping yourself in this dark, like sad energy, only thing that's going to come to you is the dark, sad misery energy.
Right. Because what we focus on expands. It's part of, even Einstein says that imagination is more important than intellect. So the more we, our imagination was a gift from the divine to be those commercials for us for the future. And the thing is, we're already doing it. Because we are programmed to, we're actually wired for it. Sorry. We're wired to use our imagination for our commercials. We automatically do it. So it starts like, these are messages to remind you, you've been doing things by default start to do them by design. Whatever you are focusing on, and that's why the sciences are now proving all this stuff that the divine's been telling us for centuries. You know, I talk about that a lot. You know, you can either put yourself in chemical bliss or chemical chaos. And if you are focusing on the negative, focusing on what's not, it's almost like the Four of Cups, where, you know, there's things around you and the divine is offering you something new that's going to be emotionally fulfilling, but you're kind of already like bored or you don't want to look at it. There's the one that's coming is the Seer's Tarot, and the divine is, you actually have the hand in the cup near your hand, and the divine's giving it to you, but not wanting to look at it. And a lot of times, like, the truth will set you free. It's knowing it. You have to know the truth, which means to intimately know it for yourself. But a lot of times, before it sets you free, it's going to piss you off. And we don't want to look, because part of us already know, because we have that gut instinct, and we've been ignoring our gut. We've been ignoring it and therefore dishonoring it. And then when we're being shown the truth, we're like, well, dang, I already knew that. And then once you're shown the truth, is the matrix, right? Which pill are you going to take? Are you going to allow yourself to take in the pill of truth, even though it's a hard truth, knowing that what you desire desires you too, what you seek is seeking you too? But there has to be an exchange, and the exchange is releasing what you believe was the better way, and then just allowing the divine to unfold it under grace and perfect ways for you. And it doesn't mean that there won't be a return of something, but whenever you have this pull from the divine to release something, it's always for your benefit, and it's always for what you desire, and it's for your purpose. Because when you are not where you're supposed to be, you are hindering others who were designed and called to have you as their blessing connector. When you're in your purpose, when you're in your freedom of having your perfect self-expression, there are people, you were designed to answer that call. And when you are not free in your perfect self-expression, then the purposes for which you've been created, other people that you haven't encountered yet, are also being held back. So when you set yourself free through these the karmic releases, it's rippling. And in you doing that, it's not only for your bloodline, but you're also releasing other people who are already energetically connected to you. So if we get outside of ourselves, or like, well, it's not only for me, it becomes a little easier to take the pill. And remember, it's reminding me of just a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. Allowing the medicine to go down, like, it might be bittersweet, but when you anchor yourself in true love, right, that agape love for humanity, for yourself, you can grieve the way that particular connection might have to die. It's okay to grieve it. You should grieve it, because if it meant anything to you, you're going to have that moment of grief. But understanding that there is this is what spring is about. It's about the resurrection. Some things have to die so something else can be resurrected. Exactly. And the resurrection is always, always better.
Well, when a door closes, another one opens. I mean, that's how it works. You can't start a new cycle unless you close an old one. And that's what we're going to do here today, is kind of help you guys to move on from some of these connections. Some of these cycles have already been completed. These contracts that have already been completed, literally, some of you are just holding on to the remnants of them. So that's what we're going to do here. And fresh news, I was talking about doing color readings. If we have a little bit of time, that'd be great. Or if you want to email me, I would love to see what you do. That'd be cool. I appreciate that. So let's go ahead and get this started, guys. I am going to basically set up a binaural beats frequency. It's literally a karmic clearing frequency. And I can post the link when we're done. I can actually post it in the comments later on. I forgot to put it in my description, so sorry about that. But I will post that later for you guys so you can check it out yourselves. It's literally for helping to clear the earthly karma, specifically the karma for contracts that have already been completed, to help you kind of move on from those things and the ones that do not serve. All right, so, and Jupiter's going to do her thing while I do mine. We're going to get this started. Can everybody hear the music okay?
Yeah. Whether you can hear it or not, it's working. Deo mane, oh mane. Deo mane, oh mane, oh mane, oh mane. Deo 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 mane, Deo mane. Deo mane, oh mane. Deo mane, oh mane, oh Deo mane. Deo mane, oh mane. Deo mane. Que o mane, o mane, o mane, ne. Que o mane, o se te o ma. Se o mane, o mane. Te o mane, o mane, o. Quiero mane, o mane, ne. Se te o mane, o se te o ne. Te o mane, o mane. Te mane, o. Se te o ma. Que o mane, o mane, o mane, ne. Se te o ma. Se o mane, o mane, o ne. Se o mane, o mane. Te o mane, o so te o mane. Que o mane, o mane, o mane. Se te o ma. Korere o so te o mane, o mane, ne. Que te o mane, re o mane, ne o ma. Se te o mane, re o mane, re o re. Que o mane, re o ma. Se o mane, o se te o mane, ne. Que o mane, ne o ma. Re o mane, re o mane, ne. Re o ma. We break every chain, we break every chain. 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 Te-o mane, o mane, ora. Te-o mane, o mane, re, o re. Te-o mane, o se te-o ma. Te-o mane, re, o mane, re. We break every chain, we break every chain. We break every chain, we break every chain. Everything that's in our way. We break every chain. We break every chain, we break every chain. We break every chain that's in our way. We break every chain, we break every chain. We break every chain. Atereneo maneo seteoma. Kireneo maneo seteo neo mane. Teo maneo maneo mana. Seteoma.
I want you to really just imagine the chords that are specifically, and feeling them here in the heart center. Some of you have chains here, you have cords here. I want you to imagine that you're holding on to that cord and literally ripping it from your chest. I want you to repeat internally to yourself, this contract is completed. This chain is broken. This cord is cut. This lesson is learned. I'm also sending protection and healing to the collective. For those of you who have been under psychic attack, whose connections have been under psychic attack, I'm releasing or helping you to release those negative energies from you and your connection.
The grab a void codes for this divine connection 8888. Removing blocks 91688. We decree right now that all blocks are removed, that you are divinely protected because you've been divinely called. What God calls, He protects. And you have been called for such a time as this. Blocks are being removed. At your approach, obstacles move out of your way.
The way is open. Move forward. There's nothing holding you back.
We decree that the doors that are created for you to walk through are nailed back. The ones that need to be closed, we decree over you that they are divinely closed and nailed shut.
You see through all illusions. Clarity is in front of you. The answers are apparent. Clear the clutter. See the truth. Integrate the truth into your reality.
What you see is what you get. Be mindful where your imagination takes you. Make sure it's the path you want to go in. And you will know, because it will be peaceful, joyful. You would just know.
You're now releasing resistance and fear of the unknown. When you move forward, know that Source is guiding you. Every step you take is out of love. As long as every step you take is out of love, you will not falter.
We baptize your failures success. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. All your mistakes, all your failures are being transmuted right now. What the devil energy meant for your harm and for your destruction is now being turned around for your good.
There is no failure, only lessons. Time does not exist. Release it now.
Repeat after me. I am that. I am free. I am that. I am free from all negative karma. I am that. I am at the right place, at the right time, with the right people, under grace and perfect ways. Everything is being restored to me. Anything that was set for my destruction is being turned around. Recompense is mine. Reward is mine. What I seek is seeking me. What I desire desires me. And nothing can stop it. I am one with the undivided one, and therefore an unstoppable force for love and light. I cannot be stopped. I cannot be hindered. For I know who I am. And I celebrate that.
All ancestral karma that has been placed on my shoulders, I release. I do not take on responsibilities that are not mine. I take on responsibility for myself. I learn my lessons. I don't learn anyone else's. Any energy that is sent to me from someone else that is harmful or is meant to be harmful, I send back. I do not purge for anyone else. I do not feel pain for anyone else. I do not feel misery for anyone else. I do not feel guilt for anyone else. All I feel is love and contentment. I am love. I want you to imagine a light connecting you from above, going all the way down through every chakra, lighting up every chakra along the way, going down through your torso, through the root, down your legs, and connecting to the ground. Imagine this light connecting through the earth, all of the layers of the earth, and connecting to the core. Imagine that light coming back up through the layers of the earth, through your feet, legs, torso, and resting in the heart space. Imagine that light spreading large and warm and surrounding you in warm, protective light. You are now shielded from all negativity. You only feel love and abundance. Amen.
Amen.
All right. So take a moment, guys, and kind of reconnect yourself. All right. So I want to tell you guys a little bit about the things that I felt and saw. The instantly was drawn to the heart space. So I know a lot of you have probably been literally feeling the feels. And I know that what that feels like, where you get it right here. A lot of that is, I'll tell you right now, the heart space, a lot of heart spaces are being opened right now. Just as a direct, I think mainly as a direct consequence of some of these karmic blockages and that have been cleared up. I'll tell you right now, I know that the masculine energy specifically, I've been picking up on this quite a bit. The masculine energy, the heart spaces are opening. They're coming into more of an emotional intelligence. They're starting to learn a little bit more about how to deal with their emotions as opposed to just repressing those. And so those of you who maybe, whether feminine, masculine doesn't matter, but those of you who your counterpart, if you've been feeling that from them, you might be feeling overly sensitive, maybe a little bit literally touchy. So just keep in mind that there's no reason to purge for that person. If they are sending you something to purge, it's okay to send it back. They need to purge that. Okay. Masculine specifically, I feel like they do that a lot because they don't like to deal with their emotions. So just keep sending it back to them. It's forcing them to deal with their crap. Okay. So a lot of heart space coming out. Also, third eye, my head started hurting really, really bad. So a lot of you, I feel you've been having some issues literally seeing the way. And I'm going to tell you something. It's really kind of crazy how telepathy works, because I was literally saying we're breaking the chains. And then Jupiter just kind of kicked in and started saying stuff.
And so I had grabbed my of all the selenite, and it was the heart one.
Yep.
At some point, I was putting it in my third eye, but you weren't watching what I was doing.
Yeah. I was
putting it in my heart space. You started talking about the heart. So,
yeah, so there you go.
Just to let you know we are divinely connected. She's one of my divine counterparts.
Yes. But so guys, just keep that channel clear. I feel like a lot of you have been almost purposefully keeping it closed because you're afraid to see what's coming down the pipe. Don't be afraid. You are being protected. You are being guided, okay? So what I'm going to do real quick specifically is go ahead and pull a couple of cards for the masculine energy, especially since we're coming into masculine season. Ooh. See what we got. Oh, okay. So I love when Source does this. So I am Aries, and it's Aries season, which is the masculine season, guys.
It's the Happy New Year. This is our new year because it's the astrological new year. So we're starting all over again.
All over again.
And
So
it starts with that, right? It starts with who you are. That's where you get your power from. It's understanding who you really are and enjoying your spiritual badass self.
that's right. And then now that you say that, guess which card I have here is Neptune.
Oh,
Neptune, of course, is, you know, the planet of spirituality or subconscious, or what basically is the connection to source, but also sacrifice. And I don't necessarily what this kind of looks like is self-sacrifice, but yeah, in a way, I do feel like a lot of masculines are coming to realize just how much they have been sacrificing, either for someone else or, you know, for the fact that for the simple reason of they thought they were doing the right thing, but they're starting to realize that it was not the right thing at all. So just a couple more here. Integrity coming up for the masculine. So that's pretty telling right there. Masculine being forced to act in integrity, realizing that they haven't been the entire time. And what do we got here? Self. Okay, so I think this is a pretty clear message for the masculine right now. Masculine coming into themselves, but coming into their true selves and understanding who they actually are.
and you know, and that's even for us, even if we're mostly the divine feminine, we still have the masculine energy, and the feminine energy has to be mindful of that too, of, you know, the self-sacrificing. And first of all, no one asked you to. You decided that was the right thing to do, and that's the way it should be done. But in reality, you might feel as though people are asking you to do that, but it's because that's how you train them to receive from you. And when you start to evaluate, well, I have been sacrificing myself, my identity, what I know to be true, what I know to be the balance for my life. It just creates a ripple effect of a mess.
Yeah.
And the divine is like, even for the feminine, for the masculine part of you, which is the doer, the pursuer, the one that goes out, the goal setter. You know, every woman here is pretty much a, powerful, independent woman. That's our masculine energy. Be mindful of not sacrificing yourself. There's a difference between, you can compromise on some things, but it's the things that really don't matter.
Yep.
You can negotiate, then you have to negotiate with people of how to be in relationships with them. Do not sacrifice who you are, because when you do, you cannot flow in integrity.
You're wearing a mask. And it looks like Kayla decided to join us. Hi, Kayla. But that's really significant too, because I've been doing a lot of clearings lately, and a couple of them that came up for me is people feeling guilt. Well, what they're feeling really is betrayal. They think it's betrayal, that they feel like it's betrayal from another person because they put so much into this person, or they sacrifice themselves for this person, but that person never probably asked them to do that, number one. But the real betrayal that they're feeling is actually the betrayal of self. So I really do feel that, masculine is feeling that specifically, realizing that they have been betraying themselves by not being truthful or not being honest in some of their situations. Now, is it a situation where it's absolutely dire that, they're going to flip a switch and lose their stuff on somebody? Not in all cases. I don't feel that. Some of them I do feel it's really realizing, maybe they've been behaving in a certain way that is hurting somebody, and they're just starting to realize that, and that's what they're coming into. So this could really just take it as it resonates, guys. It really doesn't have to be one size fits all. Okay. And this, again, like Jupiter said, it could be the masculine within you coming to terms with some of the things you've done, or like some of the karma that we just cleared, realizing that maybe you weren't the victim after all. There are no victims here. You just move on from it. You survive something and you learn from it. You're not a victim, right? So staying in that victim mentality doesn't get you anywhere, right? So yeah, I think that's incredibly important. So what I'd like to do real quick, maybe for about 5-10 minutes, maybe open it up to a Q&A for either me or Jupiter. If you have any questions or anything specifically that you want that we can try to answer, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, in the meantime, thank you so much for being here, Jocelyn, Charm, Kelly, Cheryl, Cass, June, Cherise, Stevie. I think I said that right. Forgive me if I did it. Patricia, Shady, how are you? So good to see you. Vanessa, Fresh News. We're so happy that you're here. Rebecca, thank you for being here, Miriam. Let's see who else. We have a lot of people in the chat. So happy you're here, Lois. Thank you for being here. Hey, Nate, how are you? Thank you for being here with us. We appreciate you, Wicked Virgo. We say hello to you again. We love you, cutie. How are you feeling?
Yeah, man, periods. You're so funny.
Alchemy, Mindful Bamboo. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate you being here. Kayla Divine Channel, thank you for being here as well. Charm Timeless, Janet Cross. Hi, how are you? Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you all. This was really, really successful. I'm really happy that I did this. I'd like to start doing more things like this. I think these things are really important. You know, I used to do, who was it? There was another reader who did meditations every now and then, especially around like equinoxes and full moons and stuff like that. But I really don't understand why more light workers don't do this, because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like shit. So, but
Yeah.
Anybody have any questions, anything they want to talk about real quick? Also, I want to know what you guys think about, I want to do group coaching sessions. I would love to be able to do like a live extension of the forum. If you guys haven't checked out the forum, definitely please do that.
Thank you, Game Crusher. She says, thank you. This was healing. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Patricia asked, should we be clearing often or more when we feel we should, especially cords removing?
It really is up to you, but I do, for example, energy dumps. I do those pretty much every day, because when you're around other people, you're taking on their energy, whether you realize it or not. You know, because people put their energy onto you. If you're a light worker, especially if you're a person who always felt like people were just throwing stuff at you, it's probably because you're a light worker. Let's be honest. So people throw stuff at you because they don't want to deal with it. So I would do stuff like that every day, especially if you work around a lot of people, if you're like in the public or something like that. Cords can be reattached incredibly easy. If you've ever had a cord removed, like a codependency cord or something like that, they can very easily be reattached unless you're really conscious about what kind of energy you're taking on. So honestly, it's all related. So if you haven't been doing energy dumps, I would definitely recommend doing them a couple of times a week at least. You can actually find those for free on YouTube. You don't need to pay anybody to do those. But I do it every night before I go to bed. I literally just visualize myself taking the energy out of me that is not mine, putting it in a vessel, and then just destroying it. You know?
Yeah. And that goes back to what we talked about, the power of the imagination, activating that part in you, that the theatrical part actually helps. That's why we like the incense and the candles and all this other stuff, because it really sets the atmosphere to allow what we have inside to come out. And so I saw something on TikTok that said, one thing that you can do is just kind of put your hands together and start to rub them, and you start feeling the energy, and almost see like, maybe you can even say like black pixie dust or something, like, just like releasing it. Like, but again, it's like visualizing it, because when you're visualizing it, you're connecting your feelers, which is part of your powerhouse, part of the fire that comes in you, and then you're seeing it released. You can go actually take a real dump in the bathroom. When I'm taking this dump, everything that doesn't belong to me energetically, I'm just going to move that out.
Yep.
Like, I'm releasing all this for real.
Yeah, for real. Just get out. By the way, DM stands for Divine Masculine, and yes, your color reading of me was correct. Let's see. So Vanessa asked Jupiter, had a dream I was in a conversation with my DM towering over me. So does that mean union is very near? Let's see. I mean,
It just feels like he's close to you. Like it feels like that's his way of letting you know that he's connecting to you.
mm-hmm.
Not I don't know the timing of the physical union, but it's his reminder to you. It's almost like and so I'm hearing like, you can run but you can't hide. I'm gonna still be by you anyway. Like I'm here. It's a very I've read him before. I picked up on him before. He's very playful. He's got a playful energy. So at least it's encouraging.
Hey, Kayla, yes. So, hey, you all with cords, you can definitely feel when they're attaching. So, if you've ever had a cord removed and you feel that relief and you can start feeling them attach again. That's a good indication of when you should probably do a cord cutting for sure. Let's see. I just skipped. Okay. How do you deal with sexual energy besides manifesting? I mean,
You can enjoy it or not. No.
Yeah. Just enjoy it. Why not? Just
I do have something on my channel. So if you go to my channel and then I talk about transmuting the sexual energy and I take you through the process because it's a very creative energy. And so if I saw something on TikTok too, it's like, when people are sending you negative energy, that's a lot of power they're sending you. So it's almost like grab it and then use it for yourself. Like grab it and use it see it like a ball of fire or something, and then like do something with it. So sometimes, we can get overwhelmed, but if you don't want to feel the energy, then you need to actually physically move your body. Go and do something left brain, analytical. It'll shift you out of that right side of your brain that's very creative, because that's going to be really activated and you're going to feel it everywhere. So if you don't want to feel it, first of all, you can be like, return to sender, thank you very much, but I don't have time for you right now. And almost see like, this is why like science fiction things are really helpful, because they're showing us things that are already happening in the energetic field. So you can put yourself like in this, like if you're a character in the movie and you're feeling this and then feeling the force field being pulled, being pushed back. And well, unless you want to use the energy since they sent it to you anyway, you can transmute it and use it for whatever you want to manifest or to move. Or if you don't really want to feel it because it's uncomfortable, send it back, but then go do something that is left brain, analytical, go up and down the stairs, start to move the energy out of your physical body, and then it'll move out of your energetic body. But you just have to get up and move.
Yep. Grounding. That's basically what you're doing. That's like exercising. Exercise is a great way to ground. Because you're just doing the motions. You're literally just going through the motions. You're taking your emotion out of it. You're just going through the motions themselves without any emotion whatsoever. It's kind of like a hard reset. Jocelyn asked if you can revisit. Yes, you can revisit this exercise again, guys. I'm just gonna let YouTube upload it to my channel. And so you guys can revisit this whenever, and I may do another one, maybe a different type for something else later on. I know Jupiter and I were talking about doing an 8/8 event for Lionsgate. So definitely want to do something like that. Might do something in the meantime, maybe for summer solstice or something like that. So we'll definitely keep you guys in the loop. Kayla, yeah, Wicked Virgo says sex energy can be entities. That is true, guys. Just keep in mind sometimes. I don't know if you guys know what a succubus is or what an incubus is, but basically it's something that feeds on the sexual energy. So there is something that feeds on pretty much any kind of energy. The biggest one is fear. I think fear is the biggest one that gets fed on a lot because it's so easy to generate. But sexual energy can be fed upon, yes. So just be aware you may have an attachment. I do spirit release therapy. I can help you if you feel like you have an attachment or something of that nature. I can definitely help you out with that. So just be aware, okay? Also had a
And
dream.
shit, and what was coming to mind also were like
Oh,
shapeshifters.
yeah,
So with the sexual energy, succubi can come in the astral as
as a
your
form of
divine counterpart. And
exactly.
so in order to have you open yourself up to the experience, so you'll know because either what is it leaving you with
Mm-hmm.
after the astral sex? I mean,
Do
was it,
you feel
are you
drained?
feeling, do you feel radiant? Do you feel powerful? Do you feel at peace? Do you feel like more loving and kind and uplifted? Because that's what happens when you have good sex in the 3D, right? So if you're not getting that after the astral and you're actually like more connected or more anxious or more of the negative feelings, that probably was not your divine counterpart.
Yeah, yeah. So keep that in mind, guys. And I've actually had this experience. I know Raquel has, and I know Kayla has as well. You know, there it can even be somebody who's really close to you. Like it could be somebody that you know, okay, that is doing this, and it's kind of disturbing. So just be aware if you're feeling drained after that, it's probably not your counterpart. Okay, it's probably something else taking the form of that. Um, all right. Oh,
And we're not saying this to scare you to be like freaking out. You know,
oh
it's just
yeah.
like simple things. You don't have to do like all these things, right? You can, say like, I am that. I am hidden. The scripture says, I am hidden in Christ, right? That Christ bubble, the Christ consciousness, that light, and just declaring it. But this also goes back to your knower, understanding who you are. And so when you speak, that it has to be done. It is so because you said so. So you might have to start proclaiming things in affirmation. It is so because I said so.
Right.
And so, because this is what we talk about royalty. When kings and queens speak, whatever they say becomes law.
I declare it so. Right.
And it's the same for your personal life. So you start to use that kind of languaging, and then it shifts you to that belief system. No, I'm going to get these things because I said so. Not only manifesting, but manifesting protection because I said so. I'm hidden. The only way, and somebody I forgot her name, couldn't read me, it's because I'm always shielding, and so unless I want to be read or the spirit wants you to read me, you're not going to be able to.
Yeah.
So it's just, and there's no like weird things about it, but it's like one of those things also to grounding, like, no, see yourself. Remember like Glinda when in the Wizard of Oz did this beautiful big bubble, and it was like all colorful, but it was also transparent. You're like, I am hidden. And sometimes when we're going outside, you need to be hidden, also be mindful about, and this came to mind the other day, about calling yourself an empath, because what happens is that we've become empaths because we've been in situations where we had to get very good about reading people's energy
Yep.
because we were walking on eggshells. And so we've learned how to read the energy of people because they were in a negative state.
Right.
And we didn't want to trigger them because it was going to ricochet on us.
So we
And
did.
then, yeah. And so then we get hypersensitive to reading people. So what happens is that, and that's where we end up having all these kind of services and things like that, trying to get you back to yourself, maybe moving away from the word of empath, because that can even be triggering to you. Like, that's why I can't be around people. I can read people, learning how to turn that off. And I was thinking about that today, like even doing like a prayer for that, saying, if you have that ability, a lot of times we're put into situations in order for our gift to come up. But because we didn't have training, we didn't know that we can turn it on and off.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I used to not be able to go to malls. Like I couldn't go into like places where there were a bunch of people in one place because I would get overstimulated with like people. Like literally, it's like they were throwing all of their stuff at me. Once I learned how to turn that off, I can go to the mall now. I'm good. Like it's light and day, night and day.
yeah, and that's one of the things you can say. I am that. I am a powerful empath. And because I can turn this on and off at will. And if it gets turned on without my will, it's because I'm supposed to do something with it as a light worker. I'm grateful for it, but I am not overwhelmed by my gift.
Right.
And it's, and that happens too if you're clairaudient, hearing everything, learning how to shut it off, because your gift can be your kryptonite. You don't want it to be debilitated or feel debilitated because of the gift in you. So start to watch your languaging, taking control, understanding that our words are our servants. And as we speak with authority, And as part of knowing who you are, you'll be able to switch things on and off at will to help you. Is there anything else?
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, we really thank you for joining us. I really enjoyed doing this. I want to do another one. So maybe for summer solstice, maybe if we can figure it out, get it together. Maybe we can get maybe some more people involved. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah. Blue is my favorite color for fresh news too.
Yeah.
So you picked up on my favorite color.
Awesome, guys. Well, thank you guys so much for joining. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to email one of us or go back and watch this however many times you need to. If you have any suggestions on maybe anything we can do in the future, if you want to go back and put it in the comments once this gets uploaded to YouTube, that'd be awesome. And we appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Bye.
Bye, guys.